God forbid you just stop the car until the track is definitely clear. I mean,
When have you seen a hurricane in Texas? Well, it happened that day.
What's all-star about having every driver? I mean, it's ridiculous.
Good guy, ass. Good guy, can't drive a race car. Sorry.
You're listening to the Foreign Fuel Podcast.
hello everyone, welcome back to the Foreign Fuel Podcast. I'm your host, Dom Caplupo, joined by Wesley Riddle, and we're here for a Toyota Save Mart 350 at Sonoma preview podcast, and we're taking two tires again, which, hey, some people might do at Sonoma. We'll see what the tire wear is like, Wes, and Sonoma's not usually the most exciting race of the season for sure, but good news for the road course haters or who really just like the ovals in NASCAR, especially in the next gen era. It is the final road course race of the season.
Yeah, it's kind of weird that let's see, not even a June, or I'm sorry, we're in June, not even to July, and we're done with road courses. I don't know if there's ever been a year where this early we've been done, without a road course. So it's yeah, I guess for some, teach their own, exciting for to not have a road course on the schedule, but um it is going to be kind of missed. I feel like in the later half of the year, just to kind of throw a little bit of diversity into the schedule, but hopefully hopefully we'll see just the best product Sonoma's delivered. We haven't seen a lot of that recently because I was thinking back, I don't remember a lot of good Sonoma races in the past maybe 5 or 6 years. I feel like they've all just kind of been kind of average. Like there's been good finishes, but overall races, it's just hard to really get a good overall race out of a Sonoma track.
I know, even with like, you look at like San Diego, you had a lot of strategy being played on top of a good racing product. Watkins Glen has really kind of reared its ugly head with the next gen car, just with how difficult it is to pass because everyone's basically driving the same lap time over and over again. And the street courses are really opening up because it feels like there's more passing zones just because it's not a natural course. So there's more lap time disparity for sure. And you're going to go to Sonoma here where, well, you have two passing zones. So you realistically only have two chances a lap to make a pass. And you have to be good in the corners before that to even have an attempt to make a pass. Because you have turn 7 up at the top of the hill and then turn 11. That's really your two chances to pass here at Sonoma. And Sonoma has never really been too much of a strategy race. I just don't know if it's how the laps kind of shape out or I know we had the one year where, like, I think it was like maybe 2018, 2019, where Truex and Harvick battled it out based off of like who can get the pit road better. And I think the 19 team just like outsmarted them that day and beat Rodney Childers and Harvick to pit road, and it kind of won them the race. But other than that, I mean, I've grown to enjoy road course racing a little more just into the strategy kind of aspect of it. But I think Sonoma, when it comes to that, there's just, I don't know, it just hasn't done it for me really since, hell, you could probably go back to like 2015 and back before the last time I was like excited for a Sonoma race.
Yeah, there was a time pre-stages, I feel like it seemed like a majority of the Sonoma races came down to fuel mileage. And it was fun to watch those races just because, trying to see whoever was leading, hang on. And then you had a lot of like surprise guys that would typically run good on road courses. But obviously like later in their careers, they would show up in the road course ringers too. They would be able to compete up there in the front. But, you know, overall, you had a lot of fuel mileage. And now with the stages, it's kind of taken that element away. And now it's just, who pits, what sequence do you pit? It feels like Sonoma's traditionally just like two or three options, and then you're kind of stuck on that strategy the remainder of the race, especially if there's not a caution. And of course, road courses too, the I guess, least likely chance that we'll have a caution just because of how, uh, how wide the track is, how long it is, and um, unlike a unlike a San Diego, this track, there's a lot more runoff and opportunity for guys to get their cars pointed back the right direction. So a caution is going to be even less likely than what we saw at San Diego and even Watkins Glen. So it's yeah, you gotta just play your cards right, and um, I feel like we're gonna see some interesting contenders. I feel like there's gonna be some guys fighting for the first career win of the season, but also we've got SVG gonna be back in the mix, kind of fresh off what he needed a reset after San Diego.
Yeah, I think honestly I could give SVG a little more motivation. Just like, all right, no holding back this week. We're going to Sonoma and we're just gonna put bell to ass, I think, this weekend. And I think this is a good opportunity for Zilish as well to get his season kind of on track. I mean, you have to feel confidence knowing you were able to lead on speed at San Diego, and you go to Sonoma, a track you've won at, a track you're familiar with. I mean, I think we've been waiting for a Zilish SVG kind of battle on a road course, and I think this is going to be your best opportunity to get it. I think it's the track where those two could separate themselves from the field. I would say an AJ Allmendinger would have a chance, but I just don't know if the equipment's there. But I mean, again, SV, I mean, Trackhouse isn't like they're blowing people out of the water either. And I think one name to look out for this week, and honestly could be a serious threat to win, is Michael McDowell. I think McDowell is more motivated than ever. I think he's had the speed this season on road courses. He was a little disappointed with how they ran at San Diego, but I think a track like Sonoma, I think McDowell is what second, basically all day at Watkins Glen. So I think McDowell is going to be extra motivated to try to get things done, especially with his two teammates having wins this season, to try to get a win for himself to give Spire the trifecta and everyone getting a win this year.
Yeah, McDowell's super sharp. I mean, he still hasn't lost anything talent-wise. I mean, he's always been exceptional on road courses and still, at the top of his game, even though he's always performed, not statistically the best just because he's been in lesser equipment. But this is kind of in if you want to call it a neutralizer, kind of a neutralizer, and it gives Trackhouse and Spire and those teams a little bit more of an advantage when it comes to the manufacturers, like especially like Toyota has the advantage on a lot of the mile and a half tracks and various other types of circuits right now. So it's gonna put McDowell right in the mix, and I think he's gonna be in contention. I think if anybody can beat SVG this year on a road course, I would put McDowell over Connor Zilish right now. Not saying that Connor can't have it, but the snake bit luck that he's had still just kind of strays me away from picking him, and also the fact that he just hasn't been able to get to the finish line. McDowell has, and McDowell can get it done.
Yeah, confidence is huge, and right now, I mean, Zilish, there's just no way in the world you could have the confidence right now with how much has gone on to him in the Cup Series. Now, if he goes out Saturday in the O'Reilly race and beats SVG, then maybe that changes the story there, and you gives him a little boost of confidence to try to contend on Sunday. Now, just a little some track facts, going into this weekend. There have been 37 races held at Sonoma. This will be the 38th running. The first race was back on June 11th in 1989, which was won by Ricky Rudd. And then 2 years later, he was black flagged after spitting Davey Allison out in 1991. I posted that clip on our social media, and that got a lot of response. A lot of people were not happy that NASCAR black flagged Ricky Rudd for that move, which, I mean, that move today, when you look at it, I mean, that's pretty damn clean compared to what we've seen for some people for a win nowadays. And a fun fact also, 52 drivers have made their Cup Series debut at Sonoma. Most recently, it was Cam Waters and Will Brown that did it in 2024, a couple of years ago. And there are actually only three active winners at Sonoma right now. Kyle Larson, who's won twice in 21 and 24. Daniel Suarez won in 2022. And SVG with his win last year. Only three of those three have wins at Sonoma, which is kind of interesting. That might be the least amount of active winners at a racetrack for a track that's been around for 10 or more years.
SVG is going to start hogging them all. It seems like we're going down that path. I think Ben Rhodes and Grant Enfinger, both two truck guys, made their debut. Just to throw out some more like first time, guys that made their debut at Sonoma. I think Grant filled in for somebody. Ben filled in for somebody at Spire. I don't remember the situation there, but just to throw a couple more names out there. Um, yeah, this is going to be um, an interesting race to see who can top Michael McDowell, the SVG, even a Connor Zilish, because it's just, the room for error here it's tight, and I just don't see a lot of I don't see a lot of contenders like we used to see, right? You used to get the road course ringers showing up, or you had cars, dominant cars that would break, right? Like a Jeff Gordon or a
Hmm.
Ricky Rudd, or like Jerry Nadeau, the one race he was going to win. He was leading with like 2 or 3 laps to go, and then the car
Oh
broke.
my God, I
Um,
saw that pop up on Twitter the other day. Oh my God, I was like heartbroken just watching that clip.
yeah, but hey, for Ricky Rudd fans, remember he was given one after that.
Yeah.
So yes, he was catching quick, but I think that's because the car was literally falling apart. So yeah, then you had more variability in what the outcome of the race would be. Now the cars are so durable. The guys that are good are gonna be up front. It's just hard to get that variability like we used to have. And again, with Sonoma and the stages, there's less strategy. I feel like it's just kind of, I don't know, kind of dampers the whole event. But it's a beautiful
Hmm.
venue. Still glad that the venue's on the track. I know everybody springs. We should be there in the spring when it's green. But I think regardless, it's great to have a market in California, and it's good that this year we could have two, because if we take one of the two away, if we took Sonoma or San Diego away, I know San Diego's likely to not come back, but then we're just to one market back out in the West, like the far
Hmm.
West. Um, we lost Portland. Um, Obviously Las Vegas is out there. It's good that we go there twice, but um, aside from that, it's kind of kind of just bare bones out there. So it's good that we can have, you know, a second market. Just wish it wasn't two road courses.
Hmm.
Maybe a street course. I mean, two road courses are fine. It's good that we have a street course and a road course, but there needs to be something else. There needs to be an oval.
Absolutely. And I've went on that rant too many times about how many tracks and races are in the Southeast, so I'm not gonna do that right now, but would like to see NASCAR give some more back to the Northeast and some out to the Northwest as well. Like you got Colorado, that's a huge market that NASCAR is just not touching. And you got Utah
Yep.
out there, which is a huge market. And really, when you're going out west, quote unquote, I mean, Vegas is the farthest west you go. Then you have Phoenix, and then you have Texas and Coda. And those tracks are not really close to each other. They are hauls away from each other. It's not like, say, a go from Pocono to Dover when it's like a 2.5, 3 hour drive. Like you're looking at like a 7, 8 hour drive between each track. So it's not easy for someone that lives out there to go to multiple of them. They almost probably are gridlocked to only going to one if they're lucky enough.
Yeah, it's funny you say that, because if you really think about it, like the distance for you or I to pretty much cover the distance from, like, let's say Las Vegas to Texas, we could probably cover just ourselves every track between Dover and Daytona.
Hmm.
Like, and that's over half the tracks by a
Yeah.
long shot that we go to. So it's insane putting it in that perspective, but it just shows how wide, obviously, the United States is when you get out west, and also just how bare we are right now in, nailing all the markets. But it's also really difficult just because, we can't really add more races to the schedule, even if I feel like we could, but it'd be challenging, especially for the drivers and teams. If we take anything away, we have to find a market that would accommodate the West. And it's just a matter of what track is going to suffice having a day for the NASCAR schedule, one that's not in conflict with SMI, one that's upkeep, with safer barriers and security measures, appropriate facilities. Like, it's just a lot that is going to have to go into it. And hopefully NASCAR can take those steps. It's just a matter of trying to get out there. I feel like the best representative for NASCAR that we've had kind of take a lot of responsibility on recently has been Julie Giese. And Julie's done a really good job at hitting the, Chicago market, helping get Chicagoland back on the map. But I feel like we need a really strong face to get out there on the West Coast and try to figure out exactly game plans to just add more market and figure out how we can get NASCAR somewhere out there.
100%. So with that, I mean, there's not much else to talk about when it comes to the race. One thing I want to say is I almost like think street course and road course are two completely different things. I think the types of racing you see are completely different. Like I think you could almost classify them differently. Again, like we talk about Watkins Glen and Sonoma, like that's just your straight up, it's just a straight up road course race. Everyone kind of knows what to expect. But when you go to these street courses, I feel like you just get better racing and it's just not, again, it's not a traditional road course. You don't have these like hills going up, down, and it's just one's mates for road course and one isn't.
Do you remember just a few years ago? I mean, it is so like early, I don't know, I guess it was early 2020s, late 2010s, whatever you want to call it,
Mm.
where like everybody was calling for the old school layout to come back.
Oh yeah.
And
Oh,
how
that's Sonoma, and it
absolutely,
was
yeah,
terrible.
it was absolutely terrible. Like, why did people want that back?
Sonoma already wasn't like great, but
Taking away a passing zone.
then they wanted to take away, yeah, the
Two.
passing to
Like,
basically two of them essentially, and they are like, there's a reason they changed the layout to what it
yeah,
is today originally, and it wasn't just for the hell of it.
yeah. I just I just remember, and you were probably witness to it too, just how many people were like, "Oh, we got to bring back the old layout, just classic NASCAR." And NASCAR was like, "You know what? We're going to listen to you fans. We're going to bring it back." And then everybody screamed, "This is the worst thing like we've ever seen," because you couldn't pass. The only person that could pass was that, I guess, Matt DiBenedetto, that one race where he drove from like 10th to 3rd and like the last 10 laps of the race. That was the only passing I remember ever happening on that track. But anywho, yeah, it's like you said, yeah, really hilly. But glad we have that passing zone back. But yeah, it's just going to be a matter of track position, good qualifying, not having Ryan Blaney's pit crew, and just, and also not speeding on pit road. So
Yeah,
it's yeah, it'll be those keys are going to be really important to getting it into a victory lane.
100%. So with that, we'll keep it with you, Wes, and we'll go back. Let's throw it way back.
Shoot, well, I definitely wanted to go way back, at least pre 2020. So I don't know if you have a guess for what year I picked.
I mean, I was originally going to go 2002, but I figured you already talked about Jerry Nadeau, so I'm not. I don't think you would have went there.
Yeah,
So maybe
I
oh
did not.
06.
I did go '06.
Okay.
I was between '03 and '06, but for this one I went 2006. Um, Took place June 25th, 2006. Pole sitter was Kurt Busch for the race. Uh, this is the era where it was just full of the road course ringers. You had 5 drivers not qualify for the race, and it's just interesting seeing who didn't qualify. We had 2 Trans Am drivers, which I think they competed a little bit against each other, Johnny Miller and Brian Simo. Brian Simo, if people don't remember, the year before had actually raced in the 33 for Richard Childress and finished top 10. But for this race, he was with front row, like early front row, and didn't qualify in the 61 car. But he and Johnny Miller were the Trans Am guys that came over. We're trying to make some hay happen, and it just didn't work out. Chris Cook didn't qualify. He was in a Dodge in the 49, which I don't know if that was the same 49 that Kenny Schrader drove. I believe it could have been. But Chris Cook was, I guess now he's a driving coach. I think he's a pretty popular driving coach on the South Side. So I know he's making a lot of money doing that, but he was a really good driver. Travis Quapple didn't make the race for Furniture Row, early Furniture Row. So you had Furniture Row and Front Row both miss. Um, and Stanton Barrett, our stunt devil, he did not make the race, but some of the road course ringers that did make it, I looked through. Brandon Nash, pretty crazy that he made the race for a team called, well, I guess I don't know what his team was. It might have been his own team because he used to drive in what was the West Series, the NASCAR. I don't remember NASCAR West, whatever it was called now, the ARCA West, and race for his own team there. So it might have been his own team in the O2, but pretty remarkable that his own team could make it into a race out qualifying, guys like Travis Quapple and Front Row Motorsports, Furniture Row. Um, looking it through, I think I wanted to find him. Yeah, PJ Jones was in the 4. You had Borsett in the 60. You had Ron Fellows in the 32, the original Tide. This was, I think, the last year they ran the Tide. Um, and then I don't remember if Scott Pruitt. Yeah, Scott Pruitt was in the race, who obviously did drive the Tide car, but now he was in the 40, the Sterling Marlin car, which Sterling now was driving the 14. Anyway, yeah, a lot of road course ringers. David Gillen was in the race in the 72
That was his
before he
Cup
raced.
debut.
Was it really? Okay, that was
Yeah,
his
that
Cup
was one
debut.
when I was looking that up. That stat with the Cup debuts. Yeah, that was David Gillen's first Cup start.
Yeah. Oh, wow. That's pretty wild. Crazy. Yeah. Very interesting. I knew he didn't race in 2006 full time. 2007 was his first full time year, but I think he got the pole at Talladega later on that season, the part time
Hmm
2006 year. But that was when he switched or probably stepped away from the 72. So pretty wild. Pretty cool. That's something I didn't know. And yeah, the I guess what I remember from the race was obviously the ultimate winner, which was Jeff Gordon. There was a few different strategies in that race and some fuel mileage that played into a few people's hands really well. The biggest being one of the biggest, I think, still to this day of the 21st century, one of the biggest surprise finishers in a top 10, which was Terry Labonte driving the 96. That 96 car was at the time really struggling. They had some decent runs later on with JJ Yaley. And I think the 96 was also driven by, gosh,
That
I'm
was
trying to think.
Tony Raines'
Tony
car,
Raines. Yeah, Tony Raines had some good runs
and then
here and there.
Bobby Labonte drove it.
Bobby was the long-term tenure driver. So they had some good runs, but they were struggling, I feel like, around this time. And Terry Labonte was able to go out there and finish third. Fuel mileage worked out, but he also was able to hang on with old tires. Got passed, I think, by Ryan Newman with like 1 or 2 laps to go, but still kept the whole field off. And for Terry Labonte, that was just a remarkable feat who hadn't been competing full time. It was the last top 10 of his Cup Series career, last top 5 of his Cup Series career. So wild that he could get that good of a finish, but also kind of, just a Cinderella moment. He was super happy, like one of the more emotional Terry Labonte moments you'll ever see, from a guy that didn't really wear his heart on the sleeve a whole lot. So, pretty cool seeing old Texas Terry. Shout out Steve on that one. Getting a strong finish in the 96. But the first lap, Jamie McMurray had horrible luck. Poor guy spun out in the first corner, and then just a few corners later after that, I guess turn 7, going through the S's, there was a huge wreck that took out a lot of the big name guys, and gosh, Tom Hubert, I forgot Tom Hubert was in the race, but he destroyed Kenny Schrader, took out Sterling Marlin, who I mentioned in the 14. Jamie McMurray got swept up in that one again. So just a rough wreck there to start the race. And aside from that, there wasn't a whole lot incident wise. Just trying to think. I think Denny Hamlin got some contact that blew a tire. This was his Cup Series rookie year. I think there were a few self spins. Dale Jarrett was in a big wreck with a few laps to go, of course, on the back end of Dale Jarrett's career, but would win a few weeks after this at Talladega. Um, and yeah, just a pretty solid race, decent, nothing too crazy about it, kind of like we talked about. Jeff Gordon won, Ryan Newman second, Terry Labonte third, Greg Biffle finished in fourth, and Kurt Busch in fifth. And then the rest of the top 10, Carl Edwards, Jeff Burton, Elliott Sadler, Boris said, who's owner of the car. I didn't know this was Mark Simo. So, little kin relationship there, and Jimmy Johnson in the 10. So, uh, fair. Not a lot of road course ringers finishing out the race. Ron Fellows finished, it looked like 10 laps down in 37th. PJ Jones had a rear end fail in the car, finished in 36. Yeah, taking some look at or taking a look at Racing Reference, but uh, yeah, I don't want to ramble too much more. But that was this week's throwback.
Yeah, I mean, I just remember that first lap wreck, red flag right off the bat. And yeah, Gordon getting the win. That was his first win of '06.
Oh, speaking of which, I'm glad you said that. This was like the day after, or a couple days after Jeff Gordon got engaged to Ingrid.
Hmm.
And they made, that was like a huge moment for him because I remember they flashed like Ingrid's massive diamond ring, like while Jeff was out there doing his pace lap victory. So that was pretty cool. It had to be a special moment just to cap off that week for him.
Yeah, absolutely. And then he would win in Chicagoland a few weeks later. Hey, that
That
might
was that was
well,
nice.
maybe that'll be the way back moment here in a couple weeks. We don't know. Don't know yet.
Well, Matt
Well,
made me upset that day, so
we'll have to we'll see what happens there in a couple weeks. But with that, I'm gonna take over and gonna put you on this in the spotlight here, Wes. It's time for everyone's favorite game here. Keep three, cut five. But it's just you this time. No one to
oh great.
delegate with here. So I got 8 drivers here. All have less than 10 career Cup Series wins. And you got to keep three, cut five. And you'll take them at their prime.
Is this all just general, not road course based?
Just general.
Just general talent.
General talent at their
Okay.
prime.
I feel like this is where I could excel, but I also, I'm not sure. We'll see.
Alrighty, here. We'll start with Casey Mears.
Casey Mears at his prime. I've met Casey. I've had a conversation with Casey. I'm not saying that'll sway. I'm not saying that'll sway my vote. I feel like Casey Mears was rushed a little bit too quick and didn't have some of the opportunity that a lot of other guys had. Um, great driver, but I'm gonna say no because how many more?
7 more.
So yeah, out of 8 total, I'm gonna cut Casey, but he'd be borderline.
All right. You mentioned him before in the podcast. Jamie McMurray.
Oh, there's gonna be some big names because I know you could say Sterling Marlin because Sterling Marlin does not have 10 wins. You could say Kyle Petty. Kyle Petty does not have 10 wins. So I'm trying to think. I'm trying to think. Hell, you could say AJ Foyt. I don't know. He does not have 10 wins. So, uh, Jamie McMurray, I'm going to say no.
Alrighty. Well, you see, you read my mind because this next one is Kyle Petty.
Okay. Oh, man. Kyle, people, the newer generation does not know how good Kyle Petty was of a driver. Like, Kyle Petty was so good. Obviously, he started his own team, started struggling a little bit, but super underrated. Um, I'm gonna, oh man, I'm gonna say yes. I'm actually gonna say yes. He was, yeah, just like I said, just super good. Felix Sabates gave him some pretty solid cars, and for him to contend with Hendrick, uh, Richard Childress, he was he was legit. He was good.
Listen, if they ran at Dover every race of the season, he may be the greatest driver ever.
Yeah, and he was really good at Rockingham. He was really good at North Wilkesboro. Martinsville, like he had some really good runs, even on some mile and a halves. Like Atlanta, he was great on at Atlanta. Yeah, I think Kyle's very underappreciated, and I feel like he doesn't give himself enough credit. So I'll say yes to Kyle.
Alrighty, next up, good old Ward Burton.
Oh gosh, I mean, My bias would. Oh gosh, I don't. I mean, I'm from Virginia. I'm in Virginia right now. I mean, Ward was really good too. It's like it's just so hard to tell, like, where these guys would have been if they competed on a different team, like an elite team. Because Ward Burton, his best team was Bill Davis Racing. And what other moments did the 22 ever have, right? So like
Hmm.
it just tells you and shows you like how competitive he was in his prime. Again, another driver that could contend like with the big dogs and finish top 10 in points. I don't even think Jamie McMurray ever finished top 10 in points. Um, how many more?
You're gonna have four more after this.
Okay, I'm gonna say no.
All right.
That's a hard one. But yeah, I'll say no.
All right, your next guy, Ken Schrader.
I was thinking about Kenny Schrader actually today, oddly. Um, I'm gonna say no again as well. And here's why, just real quick. He very clean, consistent driver, but never was, I feel like, hard-nosed enough to be the aggressor and be, you know, the one trying to go all out for it. He just kept the car clean all the time, and that's why he didn't get as many wins as he could have had.
All right, so you've got one guy and you've cut four, so you got to keep two of the last three here. Your next guy up is Michael Waltrip.
Oh gosh, yeah, this is getting tough. Maybe I should have kept Old Ward. Oh man. Ooh. I will say I'm gonna say no and just hope that the last two are good. Michael had tracks and then he had a lot that he just couldn't get around as well.
All right, so you have officially cut Casey Mears, Jamie McMurray, Ward Burton, Ken Schrader, and Michael Waltrip.
Feel
With
bad
that,
about Ward.
you've kept Kyle Petty. You will keep Elliott Sadler,
Okay, I'm fine with that. I'm fine with that. Elliot was done wrong.
and you're going to keep Austin Dillon.
Okay. I think that's reasonable. I feel like other people are going to be like, "Hell no, what are you talking about?" But I think my case for Elliot, yeah, his tenure with Yates came at a time where they were struggling. I feel like he overachieved for the Wood Brothers status in that era. And yeah, Evernham, the deal in the 19 didn't work out. But obviously his uh career was super good. I feel like in the O'Reilly series, Xfinity series, Nationwide series, I think he competed almost in all three. Not O'Reilly, but um yeah, and I feel like he could have gotten more wins. I feel like he really had the ability to, and there wasn't. I feel like it was just the car mainly holding him back, not maybe himself. And then Austin Dillon, kind of same deal with his tenure in the three. Go back to the prior gen, he was pretty damn good for a rookie. Like he had some tracks that he really showed up at and was a couple of times top 10 in points, multiple races in, like double digit races into the season. Um, yeah, and I think now, obviously team is not where it needs to be. A lot of that though due to the next gen. So uh I think in ways that's fair. Probably not everybody's list, but it is what it is.
Yeah, not too bad. And I know you've been a big, one of the bigger believers in Austin Dillon that he's definitely like underrated as a driver. And had he explored his options, probably would have a more successful Cup career.
Oh, for sure. I feel like he minus Greg Biffle and minus if like Bobby Labonte had done it, or obviously if Kyle Busch was able to still be here with us. I think they could have done it, but Austin's I feel like the closest driver that we have to winning all three championships. And I feel like now this late in his career, we'll never see him on another team. But if he had chosen to elect a different path away from Richard Childress, if he were to have gotten signed by Hendrick and, been entranced with Jeff Gordon and Dale Jr. and Jimmy Johnson, Chad Canal, if he had these people around him, the pinnacle, and they know he'd won 2 championships prior, like he could have been, I feel like, a really elite driver, just with the resources and knowledge he would have had around him.
Absolutely. So with that, we'll go into our underdog drivers for Sonoma. I mean, just looking at the field here, I guess one you could really pick based off of just the last few years at Sonoma and just based off of how the team is doing this year is Ross Chastain. Ross has a top five. He's got two top tens. He's led 5 laps. He's a good qualifier there. His average start in the last three there is 9.3. And it just seems like he gets stage points. He scored the second most stage points there in the last three events. And he's going to need stage points because he did take a good step this past week, finishing seventh at San Diego, got himself from 60 to the cut line down to 40. So if he can get some stage points this week, maybe cut the deficit down to 30, go back to some ovals and hopefully get some confidence back in you. And hopefully you got a couple super speedways left with Atlanta and Daytona. Also, and just hope things maybe, the chips lie where you hope you have some good luck for you. And who knows? Ross you said it's arguably maybe a top three, driver talent wise in the Cup Series, and he's not going to give up. And that's one guy you probably don't want to battle if you're on that bubble, if he's within striking distance as the races wind down.
Yeah, that's a really great point. I think Chastain's going to be a handful if he can just keep it together, and just have a good car. He shows up with a good car, he'll be in the mix. I think, man, I'm ten. You know what? I'll do it. 2 weeks in a row, Austin Hill. I said it last week, and I feel like people would have thought I was crazy. And he probably had the second or third best car, the whole race, and was in the mix and qualified good, was moving up in the field, led a lot of laps. Austin Hill's going to be overlooked again. And I feel like a lot of people, and I think you said it on the last podcast, gave him too much crap for the mistake that he made, but he had won on Saturday, and he's just got the really, really good talent to be able to put himself, I feel like, in the mix. And yeah, he gets around really well. I don't think he's going to win this one or be as competitive as he was at San Diego, but I do think he can run top five to top 10 majority of the day, and he's not going to let that mistake happen again.
Absolutely. So with that, we'll go into our fantasy draft. And man, oh man, you would have thought West was going to be able to. You were going to take advantage last week by having the number one pick, and SVG got you 1 point. And
And
that's
Austin Hill.
brutal. And Austin Hill 1 point. And when both of them were in the top three when that happened, and there was a chance. I
And
mean, there was
Busher
a
got wrecked.
time. Yeah, I mean, it's just what could have
I thought I
been.
had it. I was on it.
You borderline could have had the top three picked, and it was all wiped away in one incident. So now Steve extended his lead up to 99 points over Sam. I matched Steve points wise, so I'm still 126 back, and now Wes, you are 157 back. And I get the pleasure of the first pick this week, and I mean, I have to take SVG this week. I just don't think there would be any rhyme or reason not to pick him. Just think he's going to go out and dominate this week, like we said before at the beginning of the show. And that goes to Sam here. He's by the default going to go to Chase Elliott. And then Steve did send us a little bit of a list here. What's he rolling with? He said he's going with Zillish. That was his top pick remaining. And Oh, now Wes, you get two here.
Oh man, I do get two. Things were pretty good like 6 weeks ago. I think I was, and now I've lost after missing a few pods, having the random draw, and then yeah, I've had no luck.
We're gonna call you Connor Zillish here.
It's looking like it. I mean, I haven't had. I think everybody's had 100, at least 200 point weeks since. Well, no, Sam only had one, but I haven't had any for the last 6 weeks. Um, even having one driver get me, or like, yeah, totaling 100. Anyway, yeah, my luck. It ain't gonna matter who I pick. Um, I'll take get two in a row. Give me. Hmm, this is tricky. Give me Allmendinger and Zane Smith.
Zane Smith did really good at San Diego. I mean, really good.
It's like 4 or 5 weeks in a row where he's been one of the best cars on track. He's been the best Ford driver.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
He and
That's why I
Busher.
said a few weeks ago, I was like,
Blaney
I think,
decent, but he salvages.
say a few weeks
Zane's
ago,
been
I
quick.
said Zane is arguably the second best Ford driver, and that's just in general. Like I think honestly, him and Chris Bush are interchangeable. I still think Blaney is just number one. I
He's the best
think,
driver, maybe
yeah.
in the whole series. But yeah, like fastest right now, like what you're showing up with, you're right. I mean, Zane could have won Pocono. Like he had the
hmm
speed. He was to contend with Denny.
No, 100%. Just one mistake kind of just took him out of that race. But
Yeah.
I mean, speak of Busher, that's who Steve's rolling with his second pick. Now let's go to back to the averages, and that's going to give Sam Michael McDowell, which is unfortunate because I couldn't pick him anyway, so didn't matter actually. Um, so that goes back to me here. Now we start getting a little dicey. I'm gonna take, man, Larson was good this past week, but the Hendrick cars were terrible at Watkins Glen. I think I'm gonna go, man, but you also want, shoot. Well, I'm gonna be picking fourth anyway, so I doubt Larson gets me there. So I'm gonna go Larson and Reddick as my picks there. And then Sam, do we think it's fair to give him Bell, or should we be nice and go to the next one?
Oh, I guess we got to go to the next. I mean,
Do we
Bell's had an
think
extra week.
yeah, that's the thing. I don't know if Bell's gonna run the whole race. And then you'd have to think if Brent Cruz made that mistake last week, he wouldn't do it again, right?
Did they say if that was a mistake or not?
It sounded like on the broadcast they tried to like Steve Letarte tried to say it wasn't, but I think like when you hear it, like he shifts and the car like over revs like crazy. You could hear it.
Yeah, I heard that too. It was just interesting though, because Ricky Stenhouse also had a failure.
Yeah.
His engine failed. I was like, why did two engines? We don't see a lot of engine failure in the next gen. Two different manufacturer, but they both. I think Ricky's might not have been incident versus because Ricky had a battery fail at one point.
hmm
There was something up with the car at the start. So yeah, I think Brent, you're right. He might have just made a mistake. I don't think he'd make it again. Just, I mean, he stepped in on short notice and on a track that nobody had been to.
I mean, it's a mistake that, Ryan Blaney's made, Denny Hamlin's made when they first started the
Yeah,
next gen cars. So it's not you can't say it's a dumb mistake. I mean, it's happened to the best of them. Just transitioning from the H pattern to the sequential shifting, it's just kind of happened. So, what do you think? We either give him Bell or Logano.
I mean, he'll love Logano.
All right, we'll give him Logano.
Just to give Logano, Sam a confidence boost for Joey.
And then Steve, does he have anyone else left at?
I think he
Uh,
had one more.
they're all taken now.
Oh,
So
he did.
he then gets Ross. He gets Ross, and then you get to close it out.
Shoot. I'll take Ty Gibbs.
Say he was right up there in the top five too, and he got in that
Ty
big wreck
Gibbs.
as well, and even drove back into the top 10 with no right front fender, or left front fender,
Yeah.
whichever fender was gone. Yeah. So just to recap here, your points leader Steve is going with Connor Zilish, Chris Buescher, and Ross Chastain. Sam in second's going with Chase Elliott, Michael McDowell, and Joey Logano. Myself in third is going with SVG, Kyle Larson, and Tyler Reddick. And Wes is going with AJ Allmendinger, Zane Smith, and Ty Gibbs. With that, we'll go into our final thoughts here. Wes, got any interesting names running O'Reilly this week?
Well, I guess the first race of the week is going to be, is it tomorrow with ARCA? I don't
Ooh,
know if that's tomorrow or Saturday.
say is that
Um,
I forgot about the ARCA series there.
we've got the ARCA West. So a lot of the ARCA West guys are going to be in it, but only notables I really see, uh, gosh, yeah, you've got the names like Mason Massey, Haley Deegan, Eric Johnson, Mia Lovell, the guys that are racing full time, Todd Souza. But Patrick Starpoli is going to be in the 20 for Bill McAnally. I noticed that Stage Karam is going to be in the race in the 72, so he'll be in a Chevrolet for their Riom team. And aside from that, just kind of the regular faces. Um, yeah, a lot of names you see pretty regularly, like Cole Denton, the Smith brothers. They're gonna have a great race, David and Dave. But then looking at the O'Reilly series that we're gonna have on Saturday, only four surprise entries. We've got Connor Zilish and SVG in the 1 and the 9 for Junior Motorsports respectively. Ross Chastain will be in the 32, and I guess let's see. I had a look. So Carson Kvapil's going to be in the 91. I wanted to make sure for DGM. So that's the ride that Connor Zilish is in the number one. So, um, yeah, not a whole lot of surprises. I see Brad Perez is going to be in the 55. Uh, Will Rogers is in the 42. Will's notably one of the best road course racers, I think, period, in NASCAR. Not racing full time anymore now, but he's going to be in the 42 for Young's Motorsports. Young's has had some pretty good cars this year. I think that they could show up and put Will in the top 10. So if you're a betting guy, look at Will Rogers. Keep an eye out for him. Uh, Looking through any other surprises, Josh Blakey in the '07, he's going to be pretty quick. Other than that, yeah, not a whole lot of surprises. Alex Labay is back in the zero, so he's competing 2 weeks in a row. And then the Cup race is pretty generic. Honestly, no surprises. Um,
I think
doesn't
it's
look
literally
like
only
any
the. I think it's only
all
the.
regulars.
It's all the 36 chartered cars.
Yeah, you're right. 36 chartered cars, no Project 91, and no, they're trying to think, no legacy entry that's additional,
No Corey
no
Heim.
2311 additional team, yeah. Or like, 2311 used to have Kamui Kobayashi and a few guys racing their
Hmm.
67 car. Surprised they don't even have a start for any of them. So, um, yeah, just a generic Sonoma Cup race.
Generic field for probably a generic race with what we're looking at. So,
Oh, we do you want to predict for Jeff's poll?
oh, that's
Because
a
we
yeah.
predicted,
We
I
did it
think,
last week.
what was Jeff set for?
Well, I said 78, I think. You said, did you say 82?
I think I said 82, and then Sam said 70, 72,
5. I think he said 75, and I was like right in
75.
the middle of 78. It just happened. Let me scroll here. See if I can find the poll.
I don't know.
Let's see.
Sorry, a little impromptu here on the pod, but
Uh, all right.
yeah, I thought we could predict his.
The poll was at 84. So
Okay,
you were
84.
you were the big winner there.
Yeah, I think the event just kind of. The reason I said it was for the event, I think the event would take it over the top. But the race just,
100%. The race
I didn't,
was
I didn't
good.
watch it, but it looked pretty good. Look pretty solid.
Yeah, so here we
So
go. Sonoma, it's kind of rough. I'm gonna say 53.
okay, you're literally right in the ballpark that I was gonna say. I'm gonna go lower. I'm gonna say 47.
Yeah, it's been a little
47.
while since the poll was like below 50, so we're probably due for it.
Yeah. If it's especially no cautions, if we have a no
No
caution
cautions.
race,
SVG just whips the field.
yeah.
You probably have SVG up by 15 seconds. You probably, yeah, you're gonna lose some people this
Plus
week.
expectations too are so high, I feel like off San Diego.
I know,
Or
and
not even
hopefully,
expectations, but
and people are gonna be upset that Prime's done.
oh yeah.
I mean,
It's
TNT
over.
did a solid job last year following Prime, but then going back to like commercials all the time is gonna be rough. People are gonna be upset about that. And all it takes is someone to be upset like by the smallest thing, and then that's a no for them that week.
Yeah, we're gonna have to just keep our fingers crossed for something lucky to make this race. Just a spectacle of an event.
I say if not, at least we got Chicagoland the week after to make up for it. The long, well anticipated return to Chicagoland, and we'll get to talk about that next week, which I'm excited about. So that preview is going to be a fun preview, and hopefully the recap of Sonoma we could go longer than 5 minutes. Hopefully it's not that much of a snoozer this coming week, but
Oh,
anyways,
you know what? There's one more thing. The in-season tournament.
oh shoot, yeah. I mean
Didn't
that's
even think
right. I
about
can't.
that.
Yeah, unbelievable. I mean, you got freaking fierce rivalry round one. Denny Hamlin, Ty Dillon. My bad. Ty Dillon knocked him out round one last year. Yeah, Riley
Yeah.
Herbst makes his in-season tournament debut because he didn't make it last year, just based off of points. I think was it Zilish who's not in it this year. He didn't make it because he's outside the top 32 in points, unfortunately.
Mm.
Or is he 32nd? Or is he No, Bowman's 32nd. So Bowman up against
Reddick versus
Reddick is kind
Bowman.
of an interesting battle.
If Reddick makes a mistake, getting maybe, I don't know, not overzealous, but just having a little lack of confidence right now, Bowman could easily strike.
Let's see. Cindric Keselowski, that could be a good battle. This is Brad's arguably his best road course over the past few years. I think he's actually 10th in
Hmm.
average finish the last three times at Sonoma. Suarez and Todd Gilliland. Gilliland's a sneaky, solid road course racer. He won stage two at San Diego. So I
Who
wouldn't say that's a dunk for Suarez.
who do you have in these first three? Just to give quick, fast predictions as we go through.
Who I have in the first
You got
uh
Reddick, Bowman.
oh Reddick Bowman, I got Reddick. I've
Yeah, I've got
got
Reddick.
I've got Cindric over Keselowski.
Same,
I have Suarez over Todd Gilliland.
same,
I have Zane Smith over Hocevar.
same,
I've got Allmendinger over Chase Briscoe.
same.
I've got Ty Gibbs over Austin Dillon.
Yep. These all see, well, real quick, these all seem like the favorites, and they are, and I agree with you. But man, one strategy flip, and we're gonna see somewhat, maybe all of these different or backwards.
This one was a kind of a tough one. I have McDowell over Bubba.
Yeah, just for Sonoma standards. I agree.
I have Chase Elliott over Noah Gregson.
Yeah, Chase has had he's in a
They've
little bit
been
of a
they've
rough
been
patch.
yeah, at the road courses they've been really bad.
Kevin
But
has Noah in a rough patch, but yeah, that's its own battle.
all right, other side here real quick. I
This
have
is close
Hamlin.
too.
I have Hamlin over Ty Dillon. I have Hamlin over Ty Dillon. Hamlin's been top 15 every road course or top 16 every road course this season.
That's good. But I will say Ty, he's if he shows up, it's on the road courses, and with Allmendinger, I feel like they could he could pull off an upset,
Mm-hmm.
but
Then
not as heavy as an upset as it would be if it was an oval.
yeah. I have Logano over Eric Jones.
Poor Jones. He's gonna have a rough week.
I have Chris Buescher over John Hunter,
Yeah,
and then I have Ross over Christopher Bell,
I think that's reasonable.
and then
Bell could do it, but
just
Chastain's gonna.
just with the
Yeah.
question on his wrist. That's why I have that.
hmm
I have Byron over Ricky Stenhouse.
As long as Hendrick shows up, this and the next two are Hendrick could,
Well,
they could drop
you
the ball.
you want to talk about upset? I have Herbst over Larson.
I mean, it's definitely doable.
Herbst is good on the road courses. He's a
That's
good
like,
road course driver.
yeah, I agree. I mean, I think Herbst over Larson. I do think Ty Dillon over Denny Hamlin. I think even Bubba Wallace over Michael McDowell. I think there could be some big upsets. Like, and I feel like those
Mhm.
are three that could happen just based off speed alone.
And then I've got
This could be
SVG
an
over
upset too.
Priest.
If SVG gets caught up in another incident, Priest is going to finish top 10.
And then I have Blaney over Barry.
Yeah, it's pretty one-sided.
Um, so who's your final four?
So I didn't make a bracket. Um, I was just kind of going through my head. I feel like I'll let you give yours first, and I'll let me take a look.
So my final four ends up running into Zane Smith versus Chase Elliott, and that would end up at North Wilkesboro. And then I have Ryan Blaney versus Chris Buescher. And then that final four will happen at Wilkesboro. And then I have Blaney and Elliott in the championship at Indy. And then I have Chase Elliott winning it all.
Oh, that would be interesting if Blaney loses the tournament at Roger Penske's facility.
Because the nine has just showed speed on those bigger tracks. He was
hmm
quick. He was quick at Pocono, quick at Michigan, and they've been good on the short tracks. That's why I've got him over Zane Smith at North Wilkesboro.
Mm,
Blaney Busher
yeah,
is a
that's
toss
good.
up at Wilkesboro, but I just trust Blaney just a little more on a short track.
True. I guess I don't have any confident pick. I'm just, I'd have to make my bracket, but I'm gonna say real quick, Final Four, Zane Smith. Let's do Zane Smith, Ty Gibbs, uh, Chris Buescher, and Blaney. How much different was that from yours?
Uh, you just had Gibbs in there over Elliott for me.
Okay, so I'm like
Which I
almost
mean,
totally on board.
which could almost happen because I mean that matchup is at Echo Park. That's at Atlanta,
True.
so they could go.
Yeah.
It could literally a coin toss either way.
So I'll say for Indy after North Wilkesboro, I'm gonna say Zane and Blaney, and I'm gonna say Zane Smith
That'd be
over Ryan Blaney.
Hey, that'd be a little bit of an upset there for sure. I mean, Todd Gibbs winning it
Yeah,
last year was a little bit of an upset. So
I think Ford has a little bit of a good stretch right here that they could step on Toyota. And I think Chevy's just behind the ball until the end of the year. Um, versus Ford can hit it hot, and if they hit it hot, they'll be fast. So say two Ford guys.
nice, nice. Well, cool. That filled up almost an hour. Good preview pod. Hope everyone enjoyed. Also, I forgot to mention at the beginning of the show, really appreciate it. We soared past 1,000 followers on X. Really appreciate that. We've been doing a lot of hard work just to keep pushing out content for you guys and really appreciate it. We're still sitting over 12,000 followers on Facebook. We got over 300 followers on Instagram, and TikTok's got over 1,000 followers as well. So I appreciate everyone that listens and follows us and interacts because we really appreciate it. And we love talking NASCAR, with our small little group here, but it makes it even more fun when we're able to, talk just kind of the broader spectrum of, the fan base because it really just creates friendships that you wouldn't even think of, and just everyone kind of shares the common interest of we love racing, we love NASCAR, and just appreciate everyone just kind of following us, and just it kind of gives us a little more motivation to keep posting, and just knowing that some people like and are out there actually, watching our content, and it really means a lot.
Yeah, appreciate everybody for the continued support. Um, Dom and Sam and Steve are awesome. They're they're the best, and yeah, it's fun to be a part of it with them. So yeah, just feel free to continue supporting us, and we'll keep engaging with you all. Thanks.
All right, cool. So again, we'll talk to you after Sonoma next week, and we'll preview Chicago at the end of next week as well. Exciting week coming up to just in the racing world just to talk about it. So for Wes, I'm Dom, and we'll see you next week after Sonoma.